Hey, boys and girls, the weather report for July 28th, 2021. I don't give a rat's ass what day it is or about the weather. How you guys doing?
Better than you.
Yeah, definitely better.
But then again, they didn't claw into my eyeballs today, so.
I've given up. So I'm right there with you.
Okay, good. At least I got one on the team with me. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I was on Smokey's channel for just about 5 minutes today, and I'm like I say, I'm ethically, I'm compromised. I don't know, but he seems pretty reasonable to talk to lately, and some of the topics are good. And of course, I saw Andrew on there for hours last night, and then I went on this morning and just checked it out to see who was on, and of course, Andrew's on again. And then just as I was like reeling over Andrew being on, David pops up. So I figured, what the fuck? I went in too.
Yep. Yep.
It's like when you see your friend jumping off a bridge and you do it too.
Well, Erica jumped off a bridge, so I jumped off the bridge. I figure everybody else I'm not going to pay any attention to, but if Erica jumps off the bridge or the cliff, I'm jumping off the cliff.
Yeah.
And that's where I draw the line when Erica does it. So
I have a fun fact about Erica.
Ooh. Gossip?
Not really, but when Erica was born at the hospital, she set a record for being the longest baby.
Really?
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
that is a true fact.
Wow. Wow.
Interesting.
She's not that long now.
No, she's pretty lanky. If you've ever seen a picture of her, she's pretty tall.
She's pretty tall. Oh, really? Huh. So I was the biggest baby my mom had, almost 10 pounds, and I ended up being the smallest kid, smallest adult. My sister's a little bit smaller, but my big sister is like really bigger than me. So I'm a runt. My mom told me, my dad used to feed me coffee with a teaspoon when I was in the high chair. My mom told him that he was going to stunt my growth, and apparently that happened.
Yeah. Coffee grounds?
No, well, no, he wasn't feeding me grounds. Of course, knowing my dad, I don't know. I never asked. I just heard the story, so I never asked. Maybe it was coffee grounds. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm surprised it wasn't beer.
He was. I think mom stopped him. That's where my mom put her foot down.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. First time I got drunk, I was 2 years old. My first blackout drunk was at 2. And that is a fucking true story, which I will not tell right now. But anyway.
Well, now I'm just getting conflicting information.
What?
Well, first you said that your mom stopped you from getting spoonfuls of beer when you were a baby, and now I'm hearing that you were blackout drunk at 2.
Oh, that was, what's his name? His name was Hood. That was his nickname. He fed me Mogan David wine in 8-ounce glasses until I got so drunk that I blacked out. So,
that's probably not safe.
Well, I still remember the taste of the wine, and God, it was good. Holy shit. And I remember part of the experience. So,
well, it's kind of like grape juice.
Oh yeah, it's really sweet and just wonderful. I've had a fondness for it ever since. But then I went on the wagon until I was 12.
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol myself.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. Pretty bad shit. Anyway, we got a bunch of stuff in the description. And is Brainbug still here? Brainbug, are you here? Tell me if you're here. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. You talk about the spider. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a spider and there's a bunch of other stuff. Let's see. So Brainbug did some electric tarantula thing. He never advertises his videos here, and he should.
You know, that reminds me. I think we saw a video that someone shared from a channel called Action Lab Shorts, and they had another video where they took glow-in-the-dark powder and they put it on a spider, and then they showed a video of the spider with the lights off. It was super creepy looking. Maybe I could link that.
Hang on a second. I'm trying to find something.
We have a brain bug wannabe here in the side chat.
Do we? Who is that?
Spooky, yep.
Spooky bad hair wants to be brain bug.
He wants to be.
But who doesn't? I mean, brain bug is a fine fellow.
Is it okay if I share this video? It's 1 minute long.
Sure. In a second. I'm hunting something up right now. Oh God, I didn't do trash. Okay, compose. Hang on a second. Sending a link to Brainbug.
A huge hobo spider that I caught in my house. Rather than kill it, I decided to cover it with the harmless glow-in-the-dark pigment so I could tell if it's coming to get us in the dark. Let's test it out and see what it looks like, and then I'll show my wife and see if she thinks it's a good idea.
So when the lights go out, I'll easily be able to see it. There it goes.
Wow.
Oh man, look at that crawling.
Wait, turn.
Okay, I won't play the whole thing. But he scares his wife with it.
Oh, that would be fun to see, but would we get like a strike, you think?
No, she just runs away.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you could see the spinnerets on its backside and some of the silk coming out. But it's creepy looking. It looks like something from a Fallout game.
So there's this really dark IFC short film called It's All Fun and Games Until Somebody Loses an Eye. And it's about this boyfriend and his girlfriend's really mad at him. And he is just an asshole prankster. He's always pulling pranks on her. So to make up to her, because she's really mad at him, he goes in the store to buy her chocolates and a little bunny or something that he puts on the dash. And then he also buys a fake spider and sticks it up in the visor. So they're driving. and she starts to warm up to him. And just about the time she's really, it's like she's totally forgiven him for the last prank he pulled on her. The spider falls out of the visor and she pulls the car over and jumps out of the car. And she's standing there bitching at him and she gets hit by a car. It comes along and hits her. And then she's laying on the ground and he goes up to her and he's just all distraught because he got her like not killed, but she's in pretty bad shape. And then he leans over the paramedic just as the paramedic is giving her an injection, and the paramedic sees a spider and jumps and sticks the needle in his eye. That's the end of the video. It's about 15 minutes long. It's just wonderful. It's just like it's all fun and games till somebody loses an eye.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
So it was fun and games when she was getting hit by a car.
Well, yeah, that was apparently. Yeah. Well, that was the sort of surprise ending sort of thing, right? You thought that was the climax, but no, it was him getting the needle in his eye.
Well, that teaches an important lesson. That's the reason that I don't like pranks. It's because pranks can actually cause somebody to get injured. I don't find them to be particularly funny, like YouTube pranks.
Well, I live in this dark river valley on a dark cul-de-sac, and my this friend of mine come up and snuck into the backyard and started pounding on my window, and I had to take all my friends and get them in a room and say, "Look, I have more arms than the National Guard. Do not pound on my fucking window in the middle of the night. You just might surprise me a little too much."
Yeah, it's like I pranked this person by breaking into their house and pretending to steal their stuff, and then I got shot.
Yeah.
They pranked me by shooting me.
Yeah, exactly.
But in court, I was able to use the "it's just a prank, bro" defense.
Prank bro defense?
It's just a prank, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, you
works.
pull that one, and you could get out of you can get out of murder or extortion. You say it was just a prank. It was a social experiment.
Did Brainbug respond? Is he here?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Is he?
No, he didn't. He didn't respond when you called out. So he was, but I think he might have stepped away, maybe. Because
I sent him a video. I sent him this video, and now I thought maybe a leaf hopper, but
is that the one from yesterday or no?
I don't think did. I show this one?
Or the last time I was on. The last
time
I was on when John Peterson was on.
I think that was a different one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was a few days ago. Because you were like, he was like, so do you know what it is? And then you were like, oh, it's a bug.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah. That was really funny.
Like the time
if you're wondering,
perfect. It was
this is also a bug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it on a tomato?
It looks like it's on your hand.
It's on a piece of orange clay.
Oh,
okay.
I'll show you. If you can.
It looks like a hand. I was going to ask you that. What is it on? It looks like a hand.
Yeah, well, I'll try to explain.
Now it doesn't now, but
I'll explain it to you guys. Okay, so here it is. Here's the bugs. That is a piece of clay. On the bottom of the clay, I have glass slides, right? I don't know, you can't see them, but anyway, those are the bugs. So
they're too big. I don't like how big they are.
They're pretty big. The glass slide allows me to slide it around on my microscope base with easily. So I put glass slides, I stick them on the bottom of clay. And okay, that's pretty boring. Let's see here. Whoops. Here we go. Oh, he's got these super long legs, and he's got these hooks on the end of them. Like the legs are, I think, 1.5 times the size of the bug, or this one leg, this one appendage that comes out. And let's see, what else do I got here? Yeah, that's a good idea what color he is. So the color is pretty well. So he's like a bright green. That's a good picture of him. Pretty sure Brainbug can identify that guy.
It looks similar to either a grasshopper or a locust.
Yeah, he looks definitely like some sort of a species of grasshopper. Yeah.
So
because
Chris Peacock started Spiders on Drugs.
Do the legs near the end, do they have spines on them or like rivets? Can this bug call out like a grasshopper can? You think?
Can he?
By rubbing its legs together.
Oh, I don't know. No, he's got hairs on the end of his legs, but I'm not sure.
Maybe that will work. Like cilia. Its wing looks like a leaf.
Did you get Danny's trying to get your attention? Did you see the link? He gave you a link to a paper in the chat.
Danny did?
Danny did, yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry, it was Nestle. Why the hell did I think it was? I think it was Nestle. Yeah. I saw the number. I saw the number, and I'm thinking, oh, it's. Oh no.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah, the first one. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's a leaf.
Nestle also identifies it as a katydid.
Yeah, it's a leaf katydid.
There you go.
They evolved to look like leaves. And then when a creationist sees
that's what it is.
When a creationist sees a leaf katydid, he says, "Oh, God created it to look like a leaf, but really it evolved through natural selection to look like a leaf for defense."
Yeah, I can't find the exact species though because the eyes are different on most of the katydids I see, but he does look like a katydid. There's differences. I don't know what this thing is. I'm not sure. Anyway, so Chris Peacock shared Spiders on Drugs. I put it in the description. I'm afraid to play anything. But anyway, yeah, he's pretty awesome looking, eh? I don't know. I thought he was pretty cool. So let's see, what else do I do? There's some close-ups of his appendages and back to...
The eyeballs on insects are always freaky, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that thing right there, I have that. The next video I have that from a different angle, but I couldn't figure out what this appendage was. Something to do with mating, I suspect. Like a big hook. And I thought maybe, I don't know. It's interesting, but it's quite the thing. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep. So let's see what else we got here. What's happening in the description? Okay. So I was going to cover the timeline of evolution. I linked it in the description, but I kind of wanted Andrew around. But so on Smokey's channel last night, there was some question between the two of them about, I don't know, we don't need the cam, do we? Because my eyes look horrible. Anyway, there's about when animals came onto land, right? So that was the question. And let me see if I can find it here.
It was when Tiktaalik was alive.
Well, it was somewhat before that. There was some insect exploration going on prior to that. Let me see here. Maybe I can't find it. I know what I'll do. I linked it in the description. How about that stuff? It's a New Scientist article on a really nice timeline for life on Earth, basically. So I'll see if I can share it. And I thought, timeline, the evolution of life. I almost hit the end broadcast button. I'm not doing well today, guys. Give me a break. What the fuck? Okay.
I told you I gave up. That's what you need to do, is give up.
I know I need to give up. Okay, here it is. So New Scientist, the evolution of life. And it goes on, and it starts at 3.8 billion years ago and goes through a whole bunch of stuff. Bacteria and blah, blah, blah. Prokaryotes and 900 million. First multicellular life 900 million years ago. Okay. And then 800 million, they start going through splits and forming some different species. Okay, then we had snowball Earth. Hell froze over 730 million years ago, the clone jellies. And then we had a lot of life in the sea up to 590 million years ago. We have the first sign of bilateria. That's something that mirror image bilaterally symmetrical. And then 580 million years ago, we had jellyfish. We had like a radiation. Let's see, where's the Cambrian? Cambrian. 485 million years ago, about. 541. So here's the Cambrian. Let's see. Okay, small group. Okay, deuterostomes. And then we have, let's see, chordates, 540 million years ago. Cambrian explosion, 531. That's when things really started to get crazy and radiate with multicellularity. And so fossil evidence shows that animals were exploring the land at this time 500 million years ago in the Cambrian. So, but it was, let's see, like early primitive arthropods and but nothing else but exploring the land. So there were no, like Tiktaalik didn't happen until, well, let's see, fish split into two groups, the bony fish and the cartilaginous. And then we have the lobe fin fish and the fleshy fins, and then the coelacanth, and let's see what else, lungfish. Oldest known insect, 400 million years ago. First four-legged animals or tetrapods were 397 million years ago. So that's when things really started getting crawly around the land that weren't insects. Somewhere up here, the first plants hit the land. Yeah, plants began colonizing land 465 million years ago. So anyway, this gives you a nice timeline. And then fossil trees, 385 million years ago. You know, trees didn't come. I always thought trees would have been first, but nope, they weren't. I mean, one always thinks plants on lands, you know, you think about a forest, but no, it didn't happen for a couple 100 million years. And that goes on. And up until the worst species of all takes over 2 million years ago. Anyway, so I thought this would be interesting and a nice reference for anybody who gets into a conversation about this. So what else? What's up with you, AJ?
He gave up.
What?
He gave up. AJ just gave up. So
That's it. You gave up on. You gave up attacking Mr. Kent.
what did you give up on, AJ? Chewing gum or what? Like
Life.
oh.
No, I have slowed down a little bit on the videos I've been making on my channel about Kent Hovind, just because there was an interview that I was going to do with somebody who worked there, but it sort of fell through, and then, you know, Kent decided to dox me. But I'm going to be doing some pretty interesting collabs in the month of August, so the channel's going to pick back up again. I put out over 100 videos, like 120 videos in the past like 8 to 12 months. So, you know, I'm taking a little bit of a sabbatical right now, but only for a short time.
You're on sabbatical like a radical.
Exactly.
Sabbatical. Okay, so where's that paper that Nestle? Oh my God! So I'm missing a whole bunch of links that people are giving me. Great Library of Nineveh with Irving Finkel British Museum events. I don't know.
That's one of the ones that I put in.
That you linked, okay.
Yeah, it was basically he goes over like the stuff they found at the library in Nineveh. It's basically day-to-day kind of administrative stuff for King Ashurbanipal. And the guy Irving Finkel did, let's see, The Flood Before Noah. That's another popular video out here on the YouTubes. And he's this old guy. He looks just like a museum curator. He's this old guy with the old man glasses and a big bushy white beard. But he knows his stuff, and it's always interesting to hear him talk.
Whoops, I linked Chris Peacock wrongly. Okay, so I gotta go fix something. I'm trying to link the paper that Nestle gave us, and I want to show it just for the hell of it. The Origin of Translation by Zheng. So,
sorry, Speed, if I can just interrupt you for a second.
Oh yeah, no, everybody interrupts me. Don't feel bad about that.
Yeah, that's what I tell Andrew Cumming is he needs to learn to interrupt people more often and stop being so polite.
Yeah,
because you'll never get ahead on StreamYard if you don't muscle over people and interrupt them constantly.
Yeah, I've been pushing them a lot with that for quite a while.
But every now and then, every now and then, the channel owner does this.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is that you can always tell museum curators look a certain way and paleontologists dress a certain way. They're always dressed with like a tan vest on, and they have like not a cowboy hat, but they look like the guy from Jurassic Park. You know, they look like they're always ready to go on a dig. That's why Ian Juby dresses like that, to look more like
God.
a scientist.
Standing for Truth had another guy on last night, and he had the hat on and the vest, and he was telling the Aussie jokes, and
Yeah, it's a
God,
costume.
those guys, they have a shtick, and it's okay if one of them does it, but if like 10 in a row do it,
It's
and like one time he had two guys on there, and they were both wearing the same geologist vests,
yeah,
and it's like.
It's no different from Kent Hovind wearing a white lab coat to try and
Right.
sound like a scientist.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Ian is still working on a Kent Hovind debate.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've talked to him because we talk on Patreon messages, and yeah, he said that he called Kent, and Kent sort of mentioned him in one of his videos. Kent did pretty much a whole video that was sort of referencing. Some people think it was referencing me without saying my name, because the video was called "Mind Your Own Business." But I don't know.
Ian's debate with Neff. I wish that had gone,
Longer.
through. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he ran away. Yeah.
He led with a pretty heavy joke, and I think that was a mistake. He probably should have ramped up. Because,
yeah.
Neff rage quit without saying one word, which was just absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to go find this Chris Peacock spider video.
I think it was smart, because then you win by default and you don't have to talk to Neff for 2 hours.
Right. Yeah. Well,
that's true.
Yeah, there's that.
Yep. That's funny.
Because just listening to Neff for like 5 minutes is usually enough for me. Though I really like him, but oh my God, it's so hard to listen to him talk about shit. He's just like a package of wrong, Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so I linked Spiders on Drugs properly in the description, and I linked this paper, and I have not looked at this paper, but the origin of translation, the origin and evolution of translational machinery, which includes produce a specific peptide from an RNA sequence. This is a good paper to look at. So this is basically how the ribosome developed, because that's one of the big things that all the creationists are hitting. How did that happen? Particularly Maddox, that we have to have this very complicated ribosome. And I keep pointing out to him that the ribosomes were a lot simpler in prokaryotes, and they still are. And they were probably a lot simpler prior to that. And we don't know what came prior to that. So that's what we're trying to figure out. But the interesting thing about ribosomes and the translational machinery is that all of the heavy lifting is done with RNA, not proteins. So that indicates that there was some sort of an RNA peptide world going on.
The funny thing is, today in my YouTube feed, Maddox's call into the atheist experience popped up.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's old. It's probably at least a year old.
I lost a link to that. Can you please send that to me if you can find it?
You guys know the history between Matt Dillahunty and JM, right? John Maddox.
The what now?
The history between them, the debate that they were going to have, but didn't.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh yeah.
And Maddox had that stream that he took down right away. That basically, after trying to raise money so that he could take 2 days off, he boasted that he was going to put Matt up in a hotel and pay for his ticket and all of that. And the two things just didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it.
That's stupid. Yeah, it's not like Matt Dillahunty needs that. But it was funny because I watched the Atheist Experience, and I heard Matt Dillahunty talk about an atheist, or not an atheist, but a theist that did all that. But I didn't know it was him. And later, when I found out it was LPP, I was like, no way. That's funny.
All right, that link is in private chat for your speed.
Okay, so that's like apparently, there's a big PDF, download PDF nestling, and I hit that and I downloaded it. So it's not behind a paywall. So anyway. Oh, and here's Maddox on Dillahunty. Yeah, this was so what was the date on this? So that was January 9th. So that's just this is what inspired him to start his YouTube channel. That conversation where
Is that what he says? Yeah.
LPD?
Yeah, that's his story. That this Matt Dillahunty thing did it.
I thought he was inspired to make his channel after he had to go to the hospital for a brain aneurysm or something.
No, that was 10 years before, so that happened around 2010.
That's why he became a Christian, right?
Yeah, that's why he became an entrepreneur, according to another story that he put out publicly. So, yeah. But he claims it's also when he became a Christian. And his defense, when I accused him of kind of changing his backstory, was that, well, if I'm trying to be an entrepreneur, I'm not going to tell him about my born again experience, and that's fair. That might have actually happened, but I think he's full of shit. I think he's lying about all that.
Well,
I don't think he's about as much of a Christian as I am.
Yeah.
Did he say that he was partying and having sex, drugs, and rock and roll before that happened, or?
Yeah, for 10 years prior to that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's the typical story, isn't it? It's like, I used to be a crack whore, and then I found Jesus.
Yeah, well, they claim that is atheism, and that's actually more like lacktheism because they never thought about Christianity while they were partying or whatever. But I mean, almost everybody in their 20s, early 20s, parties. Goes through that phase.
Yeah, this is the viewpoint from theists I don't understand, because they act like, oh, if you're an atheist, that means that you think that you can do just any bad behavior and get away with it. But if you're an atheist and you think like that, and then you become a Christian, then you can just do any bad behavior and just ask God to forgive you for it. So what's the difference?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Maddox, you gotta say that he's not the most honest interlocutor, I guess you would say, out there. I mean, he hides the fact that he's a young Earth creationist. He won't even admit it. And he truly, he is, right? So if he's just hiding that, you're not being honest. That's just right.
I think I've seen this type of person before in my life, because I've met people before. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but people, usually men, who seem like they're almost desperate to impress people, or just like trying really hard to put out a self-image that looks better than what their reality is. And these are the type of people who are usually impervious to self-deprecating jokes, self-reflection, or being able to laugh at yourself.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Maddox is definitely guilty of all of that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at he acts like he's the smartest Christian on YouTube,
Yeah.
Oh, so this is July 2021, this paper. So I'll put it in the Horseman directory under papers named under Zheng 2021.
Yeah, I mean, really, anybody who's on YouTube, we're doing this as a form of entertainment for people. We're all laymen, basically, unless you're like Thunderfoot or like Scientist Nell or someone like that who's like actually publishing stuff. Like, we're not scientists, but we're just discussing science. But that doesn't mean like that you have to act like you're smarter than you actually are.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I'm busy.
Mad Ducks does the same with basically almost as Christianity. Well, not so much as Christianity, but when he does his whole intelligent design, he won't even call the intelligent designer God. He goes he does not even mention God. Oh, I haven't said that yet. And,
Yeah, I saw a debate against Maddox where it was actual socialist trash or something was the guy's name, I think. And it was on MDD.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one where he insulted Erica when we were just in the side chat. I was there in the side chat typing with Erica when that happened. It was hilarious.
Well, John was going on about that guy wearing a onesie. He asked him, "Are you wearing a onesie?" And he said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And
that guy AST, he I thought he did a really good job against him, because the point that he kept hitting on was, like you said, David, like who is the, if there's an ID, who's the designer then? Like that's what, like, you know, trying to make him name
Right,
it.
right.
And he
And
wouldn't.
he won't. Right, he won't. Exactly. And what's, you know, I mean, if you're not willing to even say the words and defend, what, like, what's the point? I don't know. Maybe I'm not explaining that well, but yeah.
No,
I think that's just like really dishonest. You're not, you know, you're not willing to say who you like. So in other words, you're not comfortable with who you are and what you believe, right? I mean, why wouldn't you?
That's funny, because it's like two sides of the same coin, where he's trying to do two opposite things at once. Because on the one hand, in debates, he can't really mention who his specific designer is, because then you get hit with the question of, well, how do you know it was your specific God and not this other God?
Right.
But then at the same time, when he's around other theists or Christians, for some reason there seems to be like this competition between Christians to be like, I'm more blessed than you are, I'm more saved than you are, I'm a better Christian than you are. So he's simultaneously having to prove that he's more Christian, while at the same time obfuscating what his religion actually says.
Yeah.
And the connection between ID, because ID is ultimately just creationism wrapped up in a veneer of pseudoscience.
Yep.
It's getting, I don't know. Sometimes I do despair about the whole creationist fight. Standing for Truth is coming out with so much garbage, and it takes so much energy to basically counteract it. But here's a paper by Garwood, which I put the name in the description. You can Google it. But anyway, they talk about the anti-evolutionist jibe. And I heard this on a debate where they found a spider that was 300 million years old. How could that be? Because, you know, just like the modern spider. And anyway, this article is about that and other things about the first terrestrial animals. And it's kind of an interesting read. But they point out that this is apparently a 3D rendition of the fossilized spider they found. It had no silk apparatus. It was nothing like a modern spider. It was very primitive. And it's called a trigonotarbid. So it's an arachnid, apparently, or they think. But of course, you can't really tell from a fossil, a little bug probably. But anyway, this is a good read. But I was surprised that they that in this paper, which was published in Evo Edu Outreach, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's, what kind of magazine is that? We'll check it out. This is where it was published. Springer. So, but that they talk about anti-evolutionists, which is kind of cool. I wonder if they talk about creationists. Creationist. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Oh.
Speed, are you using a Mac with a Logitech mouse?
Yeah.
How come you're not using your Magic Mouse?
Oh, because that fucking thing. Have you tried using it?
I've never had a Mac like that. I used to have a MacBook Pro laptop, but I've never had. I messed with it at Best Buy before, maybe, but I know it has no right-click button. It's
got all kinds of pairing problems where the Bluetooth gets confused and it quits working, and it's just aggravating. So it's sitting over here next to my microscope collecting dust because I just gave up on it. Why are you asking how did you know I'm using a Logitech?
Because you showed it when you showed your webcam.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I've got a Magic trackpad, but the Magic mouse is bullshit.
I have a Logitech keyboard, like a normal one, but I have a fancy like RGB mouse.
I'm using the Apple keyboard. I like the low profile keys, so I've got an Apple keyboard.
I can change the color profiles on it.
Oh, that's a must for a mouse.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so they do mention creationist here a few times. So anyway, this might be an interesting paper for us to review at some point. But anyway, I'm not focused today, guys. I have a headache. My eye hurts. I'm dying. Help me. Help me.
Well, they did cut a hole in your eye, didn't they?
They did. Well, they dug a big trench in my eye with a laser. It's worse than just digging a hole.
Maybe you could call it early today, Speed, like at an hour mark instead of 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put the link out in chat and see if anybody wants to join.
Well, the good thing is this is your last one because this is your second surgery, right? So
Yep.
so that's good. How long did it take to like really feel better on your last one?
Oh, that by the next
days.
The next day, and my sight was fine after about 2 days, maybe 3 days. It's a little blurry. There's some ooze coming out of it or something. I don't know what the hell.
Did you turn the brightness down on your monitor?
No, I probably should.
Yeah, you should probably do that because that's probably why if you got a headache, it's because it's letting all that light in.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's happening.
It's a good thing AJ came along. He's going to get you set up.
I'll fix it.
Set up with health.
Thank you, brother, Dr. AJ.
Brother,
yeah.
I was thinking of changing my name to that, but yeah, I'm full of great ideas.
Brother Doctor.
I'm a real whiner when it comes. I get a headache or a stomach ache about once every 3 years, and in spite of all the bacon I eat, and when I do get one, I'm like, I'm dying. I have cancer. I'm just like.
You keep your eye on your cholesterol with all that bacon?
Oh, fuck cholesterol. I'm shoveling as much cholesterol as I can possibly fit in my mouth at one time. I eat like 5 eggs for breakfast. So
I don't think that I eat super healthy, but I cook all my own food. I don't get drive-through takeout. So
I try to avoid carbs. I eat nuts, berries, and pure protein, and fat and stuff. And I was at a restaurant with my son a few years back, and I ordered 5 eggs and 2 orders of sausage. And Dustin says, what the hell are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm trying to have a heart attack so I don't get cancer. So it prevents cancer. Cholesterol, all that diet prevents cancer.
There you go.
Yep. But it makes perfect sense to me.
You need to write a paper on that. I think doctors might need to start treating cancer with that.
Do you know what it's a good feeling when you, especially if this is on stream, or at least I think so, if you like tell a joke that a lot of people laugh at, that's a good feeling for me. I really enjoy that. And
except you can't hear them laughing.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can.
Well, in the room, yeah.
Yeah, because that happened when I was on stream the other day. I made a joke about John Maddox, and like multiple people were like laughing, and I don't know.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
Makes
you feel good. I'll tell you what doesn't make me laugh. John Oliver. No, actually, John Oliver makes me laugh. But that reminds me. He was talking about that on his latest show, which came out on Sunday. He was mentioning that the Void. He's going back in the studio in 3 weeks, and he hasn't heard people laugh for like over a year, and it's killing him. And those guys had trouble with that. The talk show host that did it. Anyway, John Oliver did a entire video on racial discrimination in housing and where it started, and he does the history, and he gets into it, and he talks about how it's still going on in a lot of forums. And which reminds me that my friend Doofus, Saul Cordova, spent 50 minutes the other day explaining that it's not racism. There is no racism. It's the culture that is the problem. And for 50 minutes, he demonstrated that he is a racist, and he didn't even know it. Because the interesting thing is people that are trying to not, that have come a long way, right? They've come a long way away from racism, but they aren't quite there yet, and they don't quite get it. And when they start talking about racism, you can tell you want to point at them and say, that's what we're talking about. What you're saying right now is what we're talking about. And he keeps doing it. And his apparently, like, he's coming more to the front on his problem with McLean Bible. His real problem was, I noticed that the 3 pastors that he went after were all black. And I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. He claimed, you know, I don't know. But anyway, it's coming more to the front that his problem with those pastors and what he calls woke is that they are talking from the pulpit about racial justice, basically, and racism, you know, systematic racism, I guess. And that has really pissed half of their members quit the church. And I'm guessing that those half were about as white cracker as you could be. It's just, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Racist dog whistling.
I think it's ridiculous to think that in a country like the United States that, you know, that slavery would end and that would just be the end of any type of racism. Like, obviously there's going to be ripple effects that go throughout history and are still going to be affecting us just like a few hundred years later. Like, of course, I mean, the majority of people that are in power in this country, not only politically, but also like the police, judges, and like social workers, a lot of them are white. And statistically, there's going to be racism if you have a population that's mostly white with a much smaller population of black people. And you have the white people in the areas of authority, although that's changing because the racial layout of America is changing, even if like racists don't want to admit that and hate the thought of it, you know?
Well, he's making the point that it's just their culture. Their culture is what, you know, is what causes all the issues, right? And what he's not acknowledging is that it's a history of systemic racism that has been present long before the Civil War and long after it, and we're still feeling the effects of that.
Yeah, and even if that's true, obviously their culture can still be affected by systemic racism. So I don't.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, that was my point. Yeah, that was my point. That, you know, it's and that's what it's all about. But God, this really riles them up, and I don't know why it riles them up. I mean, why would you care? I mean, doesn't it seem like a Christian value to talk from the pulpit about, you know, racial justice and just
yeah, I mean, the Old Testament prophets, I mean, they want to focus on predicting Jesus, but they talked about justice. Now, it's not in the same words or the same emphasis or the same issues as we have today, but if somebody is being kept down because, you know, we're not going to give them loans, we're going to shoot them if they dare not to be quiet and do what we say, and so on and so forth, then, you know, that needs to be spoken up against by people with moral courage. And that's not happening because of what the lady called white fragility, or what they call white privilege, that, you know, white people tend to think that they can just come up to any individual who they don't like what they're doing, who has brown skin, and tell them what to do or interrogate them on what they're doing here and there and so on and so forth. You know, like it's their job to control the brown people around you.
So this is the John Tennessee clip. I'll put it in the description. Atheist Experience is a copyright striker, right?
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yep.
Well, you know, that's unfortunate, but at the same time, I have seen videos on YouTube that are uploaded by random users where I saw one video that was like this, where they take a bunch of shows of Atheist Experience, like clip them together, so it's like a video that's over like an hour or 2 hours, and then they put a shit ton of mid-roll ads all through the video. And obviously they're not the original uploader. And this was before I got YouTube Premium, when I would actually see the ads. But yeah, I thought that was kind of fucked up. Like, those type of people, I think, deserve to be struck. But you should be able to show just a clip of it. I'm not saying you're able to. I'm saying you should be able to.
Or, you know, why isn't it under fair use where you can show a few seconds or a minute or two and then comment on it?
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, it's like I was saying when I was on here the other day, that YouTube's copyright system, you're guilty until proven innocent.
Well, when I go out there this fall, I'm going to ask those guys from Atheist Experience whether or not we can do fair use. So and how we hook that up.
I know Peter has a video on his channel that's a clip from the Atheist Experience that has like 500,000 views on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I put it in the description. It's 14 minutes long, and it's sort of John's first YouTube experience.
Yep.
Display or whatever, and he pretty much has the same argument on this thing as I remember. As
Yep.
Pretty interesting. Let's see if I can get a transcript of that. Yeah, there's a transcript. Ooh. Okay. Point of talking about information. So he's talking about information. Yeah, there's a transcript available. So yes, we could go through the transcript at some point.
Have y'all seen the one where you know, they let Otangelo on for just a few minutes to talk to J Mac, and
oh yeah, I saw that
with that Enigma machine analogy. Has anybody ever done a real analysis of how valid an argument that is, or how good of an analogy that is?
I didn't like it when I first heard it, but then somebody paraphrased it and it sounded better. But I wouldn't even bother. You know, there's a code. Codons are a code.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you say it's a literal code, when you say it's a literal code, you're saying something a little extra. Okay, then you're talking about code as in code makers and code decoders.
Well, I think when they mean it in the sense of, as opposed to analogous to a code, like myself and others have said in the past. So
it's a real code. Well, it is a code. I mean, if we're looking at something, us humans have words for things that are analogous to other things, but it's more than an analogy because it passes all the metrics for a code,
right? And it obviously didn't come from a god or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't mean that it could. You could analyze river patterns and how rivers twist and turn and wrap around, and you could do a mathematical analysis of that, and you could call that a code. So,
hey, can I share my screen real quick?
I don't know. I don't know. Do I know? Do I trust you?
I just wanted to publicly announce that I officially have more subscribers than Answers in Atheism.
God. Wait, oh, yeah, I had 434 earlier this week. So you still haven't caught up to that, but I lost 3 subs because I had Dapper, Dino, and Erica on. So
that makes sense.
I don't know how the hell that happened, but anyway.
Yeah, I was just going to show your page to prove it too.
You know, I actually ended up originally subbing to this channel because you were on a panel with Erica and Dapper Dino, I think, many months ago. You've been on streams where Dapper Dino's been present, haven't you?
Me?
Yeah.
We had him on, and in fact, it was when I had Dapper Dino. I'm dying. Cough up a hairball. Dapper Dino and oh God, who his partner on
Bent.
Yeah. And, okay. Yeah. We interviewed them, and that's where I showed them that Maddox paper, and we went and did all that research, and then raw mat paper where he fraudulently did the paper, and then it was like while we were still on stream, raw mat went and edited that out. So the whole raw mat controversy started with that stream. It's Dapper Dino stream.
Yeah, that was when I first started coming on to atheist kind of YouTube stuff.
Yeah, that was about a year ago that stuff came out. I don't know where that is, but that was a good stream. But
anyway, you lose some because of Erica and Dapper. You win some because of Erica and Dapper. So that's just
probably lost a few of the haters. I know we had 8 dislikes, and then the next day they got rid of the IP matching dislikes. So it was one person that gave us 8 dislikes with sock accounts. So
And I don't know. I've been trying to remember how I found out about Erica. I think I learned about Dapper Dino first, and then I think she was on there.
Both of them, I learned about them the same way. I saw that they had debated Kent Hovind, and that was the first time I was ever made aware of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I probably got them from Modern Day Debate too. So, who's Daniel Bennett? In order to have translation, you need a code or a cipher. Well, I was going to look that up. Codes and ciphers. You know, like cipher implies. You know, like when I was a kid, the first use of the word code I did is when I think it was like Cub Scouts or something, where they showed us codes, and then I went off on this wild tangent, developing codes everywhere, and developed all these neat codes. So that's what code meant to me. So when you say it's literally a code, what you're trying to imply is that, oh, somebody had to create it. Well, that paper that Nestlake linked has a little bit about, I think, about how it was naturally developed, basically. So let's look up code definition and see what they say. Oh, let's see. A system of words, letters, figures, or other symbols substituted for other words, letters, etc., especially for the purpose of secrecy. See, that's what codes are. The Americans cracked their diplomatic code or whatever.
Yeah, that's what a cipher is. They had those like in World War II, and the way they would decode messages is they had Native Americans who, that's where they helped them make the code. Or there's like a movie.
Oh, the Navajo.
They were called code breakers.
Yeah.
And yeah, they used them to decode messages during the war.
Dapper Dino was talking on Cell's channel about that, about the weirdness of the Navajo, of a couple of different Native American languages, like Ojibwe. They they don't have nouns apparently, or that's what I heard. And when they talk about a bay on a, you know, like a bay on a lake, they talk about the water turning. So everything's a verb. So yeah, instead of you know a thing, it's the water turning or shaping or whatever.
I linked in the private chat. I linked to a stream that I did with Dapper Dino, James Downard, and it was on Vandalia 1998's channel, and it's about languages, and that was really
a big red ball.
Whoops! I started playing. I'm sorry.
That was me.
No, I thought it was me. Yeah. Oh no, it was you.
I saw the sound profile come off of Hyena Guy.
I'll put that in the description. So AJ's channel with
it wasn't on my channel, but
and just one tiny point. I don't want to be a dick or anything, but they're actually called code talkers, not code breakers.
Oh, okay, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Now I can relax. It's like,
okay.
Oh, he said code breakers. It's code talkers.
Okay, yeah. Whatever. They made a movie about it, right? They made a movie about it.
They did. Yeah. It was a very good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else is happening? Oh.
But yeah, if you want to link to my channel in the description also, that's fine.
I linked your video in the description. So, yeah. But no, we're not going to give anybody links to your fucking channel. Okay? In fact, everybody go unsubscribe from AJ. Now. Yeah.
No.
Do it.
That was a tongue-in-cheek message, not meant to be taken or done literally.
Yeah, yeah, boys and girls, that was just speed kidding.
Yeah, you can't stop. You can't stop my channel.
You can't stop excellence. That's the whole thing.
I've got multiple videos that have 2,000 views.
I know. Yep. The only video I got near 2,000 views was the one about with Leo and Darth Dipshit.
Yeah. My video, I did a video where I talked to Darth Dawkins, and it sucked because when I recorded the audio, I was on my phone, so my audio wasn't very loud, and Darth talked over me the entire time because I talked to him for like over an hour. And so I had to go through and painstakingly caption every time I spoke through the video. That took a long time.
Yeah, I want to do that. Tom Rabbit had a video, and I wanted to review it, where Darth Dawkins is like making an ass of himself on arguing with a guy on evolution, but he lets the guy talk for about 13 seconds total in about 20 minutes. He overtalks him continually. It's just ridiculous. He does a stupid probability argument, and he gets the math wrong and everything. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, I was talking to Darth Dawkins about the beginning of the universe and cosmogony, and Steve, who's the astronomer's name from, I think, like Sean Carroll.
Yeah,
he's a physicist, and Darth just kept asking me, "Well, what does Steve? I want to see Steve Carroll, Sean Carroll, think about this. What does he think about this?" And I'm thinking the whole time, like, why don't you go ask him? Don't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know all these things about him. I just know what I've seen in his videos. But he expected me to be some sort of expert of information on this guy.
Yeah.
And he said a bunch of things that were wrong when it came to like universe expansion and like the Big Bang and all this stuff. He really made himself look bad, in my opinion.
He does tend to. I'm looking for a book called, it's on cosmology, and Sal Cordova held it up. We went over the Sal Cordova clip yesterday where we did.
Did he check to see if the Gödel's incompleteness theorem was in the index?
Yeah, I got to check that. Peter's here. It's Peter.
Hello.
Where is it? Hi, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Yeah, I just heard that you guys were talking about the fact that you're literally one subscriber apart. So I thought I'd join in and say I'm close to getting enough subs so I have twice of what you, AJ, and you, Speed, have combined.
Oh, fuck.
Damn, now I have to do algebra.
That's it, Peter. That's really cool.
Push his ass out of here.
Kick his ass out of here.
You are out of here.
I mean,
what a smart ass.
Since we're talking about subscriber counts, I mean,
well, have you plugged our channels, Peter?
Have I subbed? Yes, I have.
No, have you plugged our channels?
Yeah,
I have that. I have that too.
Peter plugged my channel continuously. He tweeted out a link to my video the other day, or retweeted.
Yeah,
as well as many other things.
Yeah. And I produce for AJ, so he has cool graphics.
Speed thinks I shouldn't invite you to this stream, Peter.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't send a link that we don't when we're trying to keep the room small.
I also have an animated avatar on StreamYard that no one has because StreamYard doesn't support animated avatars.
I'm trying a 1080 resolution on this video and see if it's any different, because I actually paid StreamYard for the premium bullshit membership. They had I think they gave me like a $60 discount. They added a new thing where you can do premieres from StreamYard.
Yeah,
and I don't understand what an advantage that is, because you could do that with YouTube. So I don't know.
Yeah, you can also do that with OBS and have better quality stream.
Yeah, with OBS you can do it. Yep.
Yeah, I've been learning how to use OBS to just make videos too. It's pretty easy for that.
Yeah, that too.
So Peter, have you made up with Angelo yet?
I may or may not have made it worse.
Oh no!
that's just me. I mean,
what did you do?
If there's a problem, then I'm more than happy to talk about it. But if I ask you what the problem is, and you then tell me that it's pretty much a combination of things. And then I look at your channel, and then a few days before I asked you, you told people that it was literally me playing the Benny Hill song. Then you're a liar. I mean,
no, I admitted to him that it was me.
No. He talked with John Maddox, and he complained about the fact that I played the Benny Hill song, and that was the reason for him to send me a message on Discord that he wouldn't interact with me anymore. And when I asked him, he said that that wasn't the reason. So he either lied to John Maddox or he lied to me. Doesn't matter who he lied to. It means he's a liar. It's that easy.
Well, Maddox told him that it was you, right? If you watch that stream that I believe the one that you're talking about, which was on Tangelo's channel, they were talking, and Maddox told him that it was you, and it actually wasn't. But Maddox believed it was because he got sucked in by what Speed said. Like it wasn't me.
Because I wasn't owning it.
Right. And then, but also, Peter, remember, you played it a bunch of times after that. Yep. So it was all confused. So, of course, Antangelo's going to take John's word for it because John told him it was you. So, of course, he's going to suck right into that.
Yeah, you played a couple after, but I was the first one. I was the first offender. So
right. Yeah.
Well, I still have to take some sound bites off of that because Maddox raging about me is glorious, and I need to save that for posterity.
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah. There's just no way that I can let that fly.
My mom told me, Mikey, don't eat those cookies, and she learned a harsh lesson about telling me not to do something. And Otangelo said, "Don't play that Benny Hinn song," and he learned a harsh lesson about telling me not to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing between you and Otangelo, and I told him that when I talked to him, but apparently that was it. Well, yeah. and now he's mad that I made him into a tortoise on the ass of God meme, where I got all the terrible Christians combined. He thinks that he looks like a tortoise instead of a Swiss guy laying on the ground. But
really,
I mean, yeah,
maybe his mama wouldn't let him see turtles when he was growing up.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's found out that in fact the world isn't a sphere, but it is actually a plane, and it is turtles all the way down. I mean, it has been proposed. Not that new.
Oh, for old time's sake, I think. Oh, it's not working. Nothing's working.
Yeah. So,
I had to.
Yeah. So my reply to Ian Shen is that that's awesome, but you should also be careful about calling Kent Hovind, because Kent had a video he uploaded unlisted on his channel the other day that was another Zoom call negotiation with him and his lawyer. And on that video, he gives out Eric Hovind's phone number, and he gives out he says some atheist called him and asked him how many wives he had. So Kent got mad and he gives out the dude's phone number.
Yeah, he doxes people. And he insists, in order to debate him, he insists on all your personal information. That's so he can go after you.
Yeah, I have a video on my channel that shows a bunch of times of him doing that, as well as doing it. He did it to me too.
Yeah.
Well, how long is he going to stay away? It was 2 weeks, and then he said if you play it again, it's going to be 4 weeks. So it's going to be 4 weeks from today.
No, technically he's not in here, so I didn't violate the rule.
Ah, okay. No, what he said, if you play it again, he didn't say if you play it when he's here.
I thought that was our understanding, but I'll have to look at the contract.
Well, technically, it's only if
I got my lawyer on speed dial.
it's only if he plays it and Otangelo actually hears it. If Speed plays it and he doesn't know, then
yes,
that doesn't violate the Otangelo clause.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's not going to find out about it. I have faith.
That's about the same reasoning as asking people if a tree falls down in a forest and no one's there to hear it, did it make a sound?
I got into an argument with somebody about that question because I said that yes, it does make a sound, obviously, because sound waves come when a heavy object like a tree hits the ground. It's going to produce sound waves, even if nobody's there to hear it. And I got in an argument with somebody who was like, "No, you can't actually know that." I guess
some idiot philosopher of the mind will insist that a red cup isn't really red because a person has to see it and all this bullshit. Blah 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 blah.
Well, we have social contracts where most people agree on what the color red is. So if you're colorblind, it doesn't mean it's not that we don't still agree it's red.
So when a tree falls down in a forest and no one's there to hear it, it makes Schrodinger's sound.
Does Otangelo hear it though?
If somebody plays Benny Hill and Otangelo is not there to hear it, does a tree make a sound, or does he get mad, or is he in a superposition of being mad and not mad at the same time?
Maybe we can get Danny and Leo in here, and they can figure that out for us. I'm sure we'd make a lot of progress. So I asked Danny to have one-on-one with me about natural selection, and he has been trying to weasel out of it.
Guess who's here? And he heard it. You're screwed.
Oh no! You didn't hear it. No, you didn't hear it. Peter played that. I didn't.
Yeah, I will play it if you want me to. At least I have video to go.
Hold on a minute.
No, don't play it. Don't. Peter. Peter, come on now.
I could. I'm just saying I could.
We didn't know you were here on Tangelo, so
yeah. It's too bad because now he heard that I called him a liar because he lied either to John Maddox or to me. Yeah. Am I making it worse again? I think so.
Yeah, probably.
Rules are made to be broken.
Okay, I'm back. Hey, no, Tangelo, I didn't know you were here, so technically I didn't violate our agreement.
Yep, yeah.
I just consulted my attorney, and he said I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
wait a minute. Who had sex with whom, Otangelo? Because now I'm lost.
He screwed it out.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's saying you can do it. I
did not have sex with that bug.
Yep. We're still missing you on Tangelo.
What the hell? He's got a tweet.
Well, it's sad because now Otangelo goes to hell because he broke the 9th commandment.
Because he lied, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's what happens.
Yeah, but isn't it you're a sinner? You're born in sin, or how does that go now?
Is this like Groundhog Day? If you hear the Benny Hill song, then there's 6 more weeks of Otangelo not coming to your book.
Yeah,
is that Groundhog? Yeah,
that could be.
Groundhog.
It's more like Christmas.
Oh hell! God, can we shoot it in the head?
No, not yet.
Oh come on!
Why should we do that?
What do you hate me?
Because you haven't had enough fun yet, have you, Peter?
No,
I just joined.
I know, but I'm not feeling well.
Speed had eye surgery today, so he's not feeling great.
Yeah,
Speed is injured.
I'm injured.
Oh, here it is.
Oh no. You know, I got a copyright strike for that last time you played that.
Otangelo, now I played it. Now what happens? Because now we've got a conundrum. Because Speed didn't play it. I played it.
It should reverse me, I think. I don't know. Anyway.
Now he's saying he's going to be gone for 2 months.
Hey, Peter, you got a copyright strike on that thing, by the way.
I got a copyright strike?
No, I do. Yeah, last time you played that, I got a copyright strike on it.
For what?
For that video, that thing. I don't know why.
How can you get a copyright strike for that video?
I don't know.
Because of the music?
It came up. No, it wasn't the music, because I play the music all the time. You don't get a strike on this one. So
that video came from Twitter.
Oh, wait a minute,
I added the music to it.
Oh, really? Yeah, but the video, for some reason, well, I'll see. I'll let you know. But there was something you played the other day that ended up with a copyright strike.
I don't know, but so now we've got a conundrum because you didn't play the song, I did. So
yeah,
is Otangelo now going to stay away from your channel because I played the song, or is he going to stay away from my channel where he's not invited anyway because I played the song?
And I'm totally confused because he said, play the song. He basically said, I'm waiting, play it.
Yeah, he wanted to see the song played. So
I know. I'm
basically
totally
did what he asked.
Right,
I know.
If you play it again,
and if we don't,
yeah, I don't. I'm lost now.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
Come in and explain it on Tangelo. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
Well, that'll help my headache. Well, Peter,
I think he's already gone. Last words were "LOL, too funny."
Yeah.
So if I play it, it's funny, and if you play it, it's a violation.
I guess so. It's kind of unfair.
Well, we can actually work with that. You can have me on as kind of a producer who then plays the sounds for you.
Yeah.
And
he's staying away because we're all dumbasses. So okay.
Yeah, we just don't get it. We just don't get the argument. It's so complex.
Yeah.
Biology,
we don't understand that translation always requires a translator.
Yeah.
Can you translate that for us into coherent English? Because if the translator leaves, then
you guys are all dumbasses. You don't understand that translation always requires a translator. Yeah, there's a translator. It's called the ribosome and tRNA and amino acyl. What synthetase whatever the fuck. I don't know. I have no idea what it is today.
Yep.
How about those ERVs?
For once, I'd like to have Otangelo make a case for his particular god, because if his god doesn't exist, he can't do any of the things that Otangelo claims that he did. But we'll have to start with whether or not he exists and not whether or not he did something.
Yeah.
I have no clue about biochemistry.
Yep.
Well, I'm fairly sure that I know about as much as you do, Otangelo. I've read some of your blogs, so, and I've had that confirmed by people who actually do know about biochemistry. That I know pretty much as much as you.
Read the Bible. Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus. Boy, Myth Vision is just wonderful to watch when you want to find out what really was going on the whole time that all that shit was written down. The history is really interesting. And there's very little evidence. They did Exodus today. I think they were talking about Exodus with an Egyptologist and Dr. Josh. So that's pretty good. Some good stuff.
I get to meet Francesca Stavropoulou, someone who knows more about the Bible than Otangelo does.
You got to meet her?
I get to meet her the August 18th. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Are you doing a show with?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Make sure we get the link. Is it going to be live?
It's going to be live. It's on this tiny channel. You may have heard about it on Raw.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. He's going to have her on, and he's really excited to talk to her as well.
Yeah,
so.
she's got a book coming out. I went ahead and pre-ordered it, and hopefully she'll also be on Digital Hammurabi.
Where she talks about the penis of God. I mean,
the penis of God.
Yes, she posted earlier today on Twitter the what's it called? The summary of what is in the book, the chapters, and there's an entire chapter about God's genitals in that book. So
you're in trouble now, Peter.
Oh, I'm in trouble now. Well, I don't think so.
Hello, Antangelo. How are you today?
Good. I had good laughs.
Good.
Are you going to provide evidence for your God? Or is that why you're here?
Well, I don't need to. You know, God exists, and suppress him in unrighteousness, so I don't have to do anything.
I know he does. I know he doesn't exist. Yeah. So, and you suppress.
I'm suppressing what?
The science, and the fact that your God doesn't exist. So now what?
We will see.
That's kind of insulting, Otangelo, when people say you atheists believe in God, but you're just suppressing it or whatever. That really is. I mean, when you tell somebody that you know what's in their mind, it insults them more than any Hillsong.
Which is why we don't need to worry about telling people that they're delusional with their beliefs in religion and God, because they turn around and say, you're suppressing the truth and unrighteousness, even though we tell them no.
So the moment an all-powerful being, the moment an all-powerful being needs mere humans to convey the fact that he exists and to tell us all about him, that pretty much tells us all you need to know about this all-powerful being that apparently doesn't do anything.
Well, I love the spirit at your faces, guy, that you suppress the truth in unrighteousness.
You can keep believing in a lie, Otangelo. That's no problem whatsoever. You can keep believing in a lie.
Do you want to go again now, Otangelo?
I mean, you will see, as I said already.
Peter, don't overtalk Otangelo.
Okay, never mind.
I wasn't talking.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask you a question on Tangelo? I probably got a good way to maybe spark this conversation. Now, I don't know God. Okay, you're claiming I do. How? And I probably know the answer to, like, if I asked you, how could I know God, right? And that would be what you would probably say is read the Bible, reach out to him, I would assume you might say, something like that. But why wouldn't that just come like naturally? Why wouldn't what would your answer be? Like, if I didn't read the Bible, and I should.
It comes naturally, Lori. Look at the trees.
Well, you say that it doesn't come natural to me. So I mean, it might come natural to you, but it certainly doesn't. It doesn't come natural to everybody because it doesn't come natural to me. So how would I do that? So I would have to force it on myself, right? You see what I'm saying? In order for me to know God the way you would go about it or claim to go about it, I would have to force it on myself. Why doesn't it come natural? That's my question.
And keep in mind, knowledge is demonstrable. So if you know God, you can demonstrate God. If you cannot demonstrate God, you don't know.
Okay. So can you maybe elaborate on that, Antangelo? Or
yes.
What do you think?
When you see a murder victim with a bullet in the chest and no arm nearby, you know that most likely that person was murdered, right? So the same goes with God. If you look around you,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't, because we know that there are.
Me? Can you stop?
No,
Peter, let him continue. Let him continue.
Let him finish.
It's such a silly comparison.
Go ahead. Continue on.
So, in the same sense, if you look around you, you see a world which is highly ordered, which is complex, which hosts instructional information in biology, where there are machines, factories, a universe which is finely tuned to host life.
Well, I know all that stuff is convincing to you, but I'm still trying to look at the natural part. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to look at the natural.
I didn't finish yet, Lori.
All right, go ahead. Yep, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so a fine-tuned universe requires a fine-tuner. Codes require coders. Translation requires translators. Creation requires a creator.
And that's where you go wrong, because now you
why
assume
are you
that there is
interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me? Yes, you can.
You just slipped in creation.
You're filibustering. Tangelo, you're filibustering. You're filibustering.
Why are you not stopping to interrupt?
Because you slipped in
because I've not
you have to demonstrate that there is a creation first in order to slip it in.
Yet.
You're trying to dominate the talk time, Tangelo.
Yes,
no,
and I
object
to the part that you already said.
And when I end, you or Lori or JR,
I object to what you just said. You slipped in creation. You need to demonstrate creation first.
I don't care if you reject what I am saying, Peter.
All I am saying if I reject it, then there's no need to further explain it.
Finish. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Lori.
You were talking to everyone in here, Otangelo. It's not the Otangelo show.
No. I was responding to Lori.
I'm pretty sure this is still Answers in Atheism.
You have interrupted me twice already, which is what you are used to do. When Dimitri comes in, he talks for 10 minutes and nobody interrupts him. When I come here, then you, in special, Peter, you love to interrupt.
Yes, because the moment you say something dishonest, I'll interrupt.
Because you don't like what I am saying.
No,
now,
the moment you are being dishonest, I will interrupt and point out your dishonesty.
I am just pointing out why I believe that a God is a logical inference based on
because you presuppose that there is a creation.
Interrupting me again. Yes, I can do that, and I can presuppose it, and then I can actually back it up based on the evidence, which is.
Can I ask another question, Peter? Can I ask another question?
Yeah, sure.
So what kind of what I mean, I know you heard my question, and I'm sure you understand it, but what would it be? I mean, I know all your talking points. I know what's convinced you because we've talked many times. But what I'm looking for is what would be like a natural thing that would just happen, that I wouldn't have to go seek out. Is there anything absolutely natural that God should come to me, right?
Well, he already came.
Like that?
He already became human in Jesus Christ, and he revealed himself to all of us. So just go and read the Bible, and you will know who God is, what his nature is, what his love is for you, for all of us, what his justice is, that we will all be judged. So you are again interrupting me, Peter. Why are you continuing?
Because that's another claim. You come up with a claim we can't check. Jesus didn't come while we were alive.
And you can actually answer what I am saying. But
I'd like to answer something you said, Otangelo. Can I answer something you said? You said that the universe is highly ordered. But if you look at something that's called not laminar flow, but the other kind of flow, turbulent flow, you see turbulent flow in the oceans on the smallest scale, all the way up to the clouds in the galaxies have turbulent flow in them, which is not ordered. It's the opposite of ordered. It's highly random.
Yeah, it's also not fine-tuned because it's going to end in a heat death. So if that perfect designer created something that is going to perish in heat death,
I would like to answer to JR Atheist. Okay. So, JR Atheist, If the electric force would not be plus and minus, you would not be here. If the mass of the proton would not be exactly 1,836.
Electric force weren't plus and minus, we wouldn't be here.
Stop interrupting me, please.
I'm just
I am trying to explain something. I am trying to explain something. And if you interrupt, I am trying to explain something.
I'm going to shoot him in the head if you guys don't stop it.
And if you don't interrupt me, then I'm unable to actually explain. You can wait until I finish to talk to JR.
Okay, Otangelo, do I have your attention, Otangelo? Okay, don't filibuster. Try to be brief because people get impatient with you and they interrupt you. Okay, just state your point like concisely and briefly, and then another person can talk, and then, you know, whatever. So who are you trying to answer? What's happening right now?
Okay, JR, atheist, you claimed that the universe is not ordered based on your example. What I'm trying to explain to you that if the fundamental forces are not exactly the way they are, we would not be here, and that demands an explanation.
Peter, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm still curious what electricity has to do with the fact that we're here.
I agree.
Yeah, it has to do that electrons, they have a charge. Protons, they have a charge which cancels out each other. And if that would not be so, then there would be no stable atoms, and we would not be here because then there could be
nothing
no
to do with
molecules. Of course,
you're talking to an electrician. You're talking to an electrician. I want to know what electricity, which is what your claim was, not electrons and protons. You said if electricity wasn't plus and minus, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
How is electricity relevant in humans being here? And I'm talking about electricity, not protons and electrons. Electricity. That was your claim.
Yes. Well, the fact is, if the electric force would not be exactly what it is, then there would be no stable atoms, there would be no molecules.
You're aware that electricity was discovered.
You are interrupting me again, Peter. I'm trying to explain to you.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Why are you interrupting me?
Because you're not addressing my point.
Shut up.
You're not addressing my point.
And what I was saying. Why can you not
acting like a 5-year-old? You can have a conversation.
Why are you not able to have a conversation without interrupting?
Because I asked you a question and
you can answer
again filibustering.
When I finish, actually, okay?
And you're complaining about the fact that people respond to your claims.
So Peter,
if we're not allowed to respond to your claims, then why are you making claims?
I said that I wouldn't interact with you anymore, and
exactly, and here you are interacting.
To not answer you anything anymore. So if anyone here in the room has a question,
so we are here because of electricity, which we discovered thousands of years after we were here, and that's the thing that I don't get.
Well, I think you guys are talking about two different things. I don't know. You're talking about electricity in a house. He's talking about electromagnetism in the entire universe. So I assume, I assume that's what it is.
We can go back. The claim was if electricity wasn't plus and minus.
Well, I mean,
that was exact words.
I knew what he meant myself. I mean, I knew where he was going.
I think he said the electric force, which I think he's referring to the electromagnetic force, one of the four fundamental forces of the universe, and not electricity itself.
Exactly. That's what he was saying. Yeah.
One of the worst arguments ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Let's move on to something interesting.
Okay, I can give you a syllogism here. If you throw the electric charges and quarks together at random, you get no atoms and a dead universe. So in fact, the electric charges and quarks was not thrown together at random, but selected carefully to permit stable atoms in the life-permitting universe. Of course, we can appeal to physics, that we don't even know and posit the multiverse, and that random shuffling of these fundamental constants did permit that one emerged permitting a functional outcome. But that would just be a multiverse of the gaps argument. The best explanation is that an intelligent designer created the right constants, fundamental forces, charges, colors, etc., that produce stable atoms and a life-permitting universe for his own purposes. So that's the entire.
Why is that the best explanation?
Well, because Chance doesn't fine-tune anything.
What?
You're mistaking natural processes with random chance.
Yeah, that doesn't go together.
So what is the origin of a natural process if it is not designed?
We don't know what the origin.
That's a different question. And
yeah,
you really didn't respond to my actual example, Tangelo. You're talking about other things. When I brought up why turbulent flow is seen from the highest places in the galaxy, the clouds of galaxies, all the way to the smallest microscopic scales, that's not ordered, you know?
Yes, but what has that to do with what I said?
Because you said the universe is highly ordered. Laminar flow is highly ordered, but turbulent flow is not. And that's the what we see way more often throughout the universe, in every scale, in our atmosphere, in the air, all the way to the clouds of galaxies. And I'm just asking why.
Listen, I didn't say that everything is highly ordered in the universe. But what I said, that the universe is highly ordered in order to permit life, and there are over 140 constants which must be just right in order to have a life-permitting universe. So
but doesn't the word universe entail everything? Am I wrong, guys?
I didn't say everything. I said that.
Well, then I misinterpreted you. Then that's my fault.
Yeah, if most of the universe isn't highly ordered, you can't make the claim that the universe is highly ordered. And that is the problem that you're pointing out, AJ, and you're actually correct.
Yeah, I think that's a better way of putting it.
Well, no, JR, I think that if you have 140 constants, if you have the Big Bang, which has to be just right, if you have to have the right forces in order to have atoms, in order to have life, you need to have 140 constants just right. That points to a highly ordered, and it is a finely tuned universe. And
well, when you say life, Angela, when you say life, are you referring to complex life like humans or basic unicellular life? Because one's a lot easier to get than the other.
AJ, it's much easier. If you have no evidence for a God, you probably have no God. And that is still where we're at. We have no evidence of a God. We have people claiming that there are gods. We have several gods that have been proposed. We're up to, 9 million at the moment that are currently being worshipped. So, and none of them have evidence because it's all belief. It's all faith.
You also only have one universe to compare it to. You don't have, so... that's why that argument doesn't, you claim it's the best explanation, but when you only have one to compare it.
It's also not an explanation. A claim is never an explanation. If you want to come up with an explanation, you need a mechanism by which this got created. You need the source materials that he may or may not have used. You need a lot more than just the claim then God did it, because that's not an explanation.
Well, somebody's trying to get a word in here.
Yeah, we know. You want to end the stream, and we're not going to let you.
Well, we're going to end we're going to end the live stream, and I'm going to bail out, and you guys can have at it in the back room. How about that? Because you know what? We've heard all this shit before, and I just don't see. I don't see how it's entertaining for anybody to rehash it. To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we're going to end.
So what you're saying is there's no new evidence for a God.
Yeah,
not that I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I was afraid of that.